Oh no.
Radicoisia
Radicoid.
No, it's Radicoi zebra.
Zebra?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to be honest. I'm really, really tired. It's been a hell of a week for me. How about you guys?
Seems like a pattern,
That's a busy time of year. This is actually one of our busiest time of year because, among other things, we do make plow lights.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
At my company.
Yeah.
So that tracks.
Work.
Right.
Plow lights.
Yeah.
They break off a lot.
Yeah, if the thing about like backup alarms and warning lights and things like that is if there's a season where it's gonna break, it's gonna be in winter every time. So yeah, that's just been my life lately. Frick, did I already hit join? I did hit join. Oh darn. Well, I guess we're podcasting. Goodness gracious sakes alive. Also put what you're typing at the bottom or I'm gonna forget that exists, Roy.
I'll probably remind you.
Or remind me, yes.
But it's something you should probably mention at the top of the show, isn't it?
Yeah, that it's
or sign off that we're thinking about them, that type of thing.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's the podcast. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Do you want to put that at the sign off? You want to put that at I'll put it at the top and the bottom.
Here we are.
Either way, it's fine. I don't care.
Doing our pre-show meeting live.
Can you tell I just want to get crap done?
Welcome to the sausage making.
Oh, good grief. But this is the 317th episode for the 30th of January 2026.
33:12
12
or effing like 12 that. With your blooming wind. And This is the Loose Screws Podcast. Oh, goodness. I am joined today by, I hope, some energy, because I need it, as well as Commander Roy and Commander Oblivious.
Hello.
I forgot letting you guys say hi. I'm sorry. So let's start with Roy because I cut him off first.
Oh, hello.
How was your week?
Oh, well, I've been avoiding the ravages of the flu that's apparently hitting everyone to my left and right. So
I know.
Thankful for that so far. Knock on wood. Let's see what else. Enjoying the the empty nest situation, not having obligations on weekends, and just being able to drive places and eat a hamburger and hang out with my wife. That's fun.
Nice.
In game, I was in the War for Alexandrinus, which was actually a whole lot of fun.
It was. We haven't done something like that in a while.
Yeah, it was great. There was a few times I was in there, we had 2 wings of people simultaneously. So that was great.
Nice.
Had fun with my plasma accelerator rail Corsair, although I've tried out some different configurations with swapping out things in place of the plasmas. I find I use the rails so much and then I kind of forget I have the plasmas. So I was trying out things like pack hounds and torpedoes, just fun stuff. Although I saw Trax recommended cannons, so I think I might try that.
Ooh, if you're going to do cannons on a Corsair, as the local cannon self-proclaimed expert, I would recommend the short-range variety with the oversized
Well, it would be
shell.
my short range. It would be taking the place of the plasma, so it would be what I would use when I'm up in people's face.
Yeah, those are really good for just making modules not exist anymore in a volley or two.
Cool. And I'm sure much less harsh on the heat than the plasma, for sure. That's actually what I found was I had plasma slugs on both, and long before I was running out of fuel, I was cooking my own modules. I mean, it took a long time, but eventually that's what was shutting me down, making weapons malfunction and stuff. So
with pulse or efficient burst lasers and size 3 cannons on my Corsair, I never have to put more than 2 pips in weapons, and it almost never drains past like the first 2 little things on the graph there.
I mean, like I said, I forget
no energy.
I was forgetting to use the plasmas because I was just having fun with the rails. If I could have a ship with like 6 rails and just use that all the time, that'd be great. I would love that.
I recommend the Caspian.
Well, I don't know if I can hold something on target with the Caspian. I don't know if it's agile enough. I haven't tried it, actually.
Have you ever seen the Rail Conda?
The Rail Conda? Is it agile enough?
Oh, you just sit out on the edge and just snipe all day. It doesn't have to be that agile from the distance you're going at. So
that's true. That's true.
With grade 5 dirties on an Anaconda, it's actually pretty agile. I would say even more agile than the T10. And that's saying something because with those same drives on my T10, that thing could turn basically as fast as it needed to. The only things that would outturn me when they got really close was Vultures and Viper Mark IIIs. That's it.
I'm just looking at the...
Would recommend. I like it.
Okay, well, that's me. Why don't we kick it over to Oblivious?
Well, I just almost ripped my head off with my new setup, and I forgot that my headset cord is currently shorter than normal. And reached to close the door and almost ripped my head off. Okay, so.
Oh no.
Real life, we're flueless in Atlanta. I'm appreciative we've dodged it so far because we have had some of our space friends get it, and they say it's not fun. And let's see, what else? Real life. Oh yeah, we're currently dog sitting my daughter's 2 standard poodles, which my corgi pup is just losing her little mind over and having a great time. It's a lot of fun watching these guys.
I bet.
It's a blast. Finally, the one last part I was waiting for my system came in, and I've completed the hardware build and started day before yesterday doing all the software loading and moving things over. And I'm talking on the new system now. I've got Elite loaded on it yet, but I hadn't played Elite on it yet. But I did take a quick look at it, a couple of screens, and man, it looks awesome. So
faster and higher res, or just faster? Or
yeah, I'm maxed out. I've gone from a 1080 to a 5080. So I'm having oh my god reactions right now.
Yeah, that's not just an upgrade, that's a jump.
That's more than a decade jump. Yeah. So
well, congratulations. That's gotta be
fun.
Thanks, man. It's been a fun build. Let's see. In game, I was messing around in Colonia and saw the war kickoff, and Alexandrinus in saw the first couple of days. I'll call it an anemic response from loose screws. So
it took a minute to get it going, man.
Spend a day jumping back, and we'll talk about it some more when we get to the squad. So, but that's about all I've done in game was going back and doing some BGS. It was fun to go back. We haven't done that in a while. So
yeah.
What about you, Lark?
I have been working my.
You've been plowing through work, right?
Yeah. Nice. Oh, that shouldn't have destroyed me as much as it did. Oh shoot! Outside of that, I've just been excuse me, emotionally
catching a virus.
He's got it. It's got him.
Yeah, he's got it. Quick,
I am before we get it. A little bit of a cold, but other than that, I'm good.
Okay.
But I had my flu shot this year. My wife had hers, as well as like a zillion others, because she's a medical assistant. And so I'm just going to end up with the same sort of immune response as she does eventually, because second-handedly I get exposed to all the same things she does, and she's been doing nothing but flu tests on people lately because it's just going around so strong.
Yeah.
In game, I have been trying to get to mining all friggin' week, but just have not had the awakeness enough to be able to deal with flying. And I've already popped one core out here, and oh gosh, I've forgotten how much fun that is. I'm out here mining in my Caspian in Alexandrinus, just having a grand old time. Would
Great.
recommend. Blooming Wind,
Okay.
wish you could be here. Seriously.
That poor guy, let's see, how many days now?
I think it's 5. For those who don't know, where Blooming Wind lives didn't just have a winter storm, they had an ice storm. Like the FU and everything you own kind of ice storm. And he's been without power for 4 or 5 days now. I think it was, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's maybe day 5.
Yeah. I was seeing in the general chat while I was working that not his first rodeo. They had purged the plumbing and everything, so hopefully everything in the house is still just a-okay with no power that long. But my word, I would turn into a caveman if I didn't have power and internet that long. I'm not even joking. I'd be out there in the ice and snow with a rock like Unga Bunga.
Yeah, it's rough.
Oh, goodness. So our thoughts go out to Blooms, and hopefully he gets power back soon. I guess the utilities are working on his street. So we want you back in here, buddy. I need a mining
thinking
partner.
about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here and my feet are cold and I'm complaining about it, and I'm realizing I don't have anything to complain about.
Yeah, I've had a lot of really tiny whining stuff happen this week that, like, I could complain about it, but then I see what everyone else is dealing with, and I'm just like, nah, I'm good.
Tiny whining.
Right? Oh, shoot. All right. Well, before we go completely off the rails, let us get into the squad update.
Incoming priority message.
Squadron briefing.
So what we led off on, we had a little war kickoff in one of our systems. I think after going back and looking at Nara and doing a little bit of research based on some of the carriers that were in the system, what have you, it got kicked off by a player that we're not affiliated with. Really, I don't think it was doing anything malicious. It was just doing a ton of massacre missions, and it was enough to bump us into the other faction that was in this particular system, whom is a player faction and whom we have had some interactions with in the past.
Both good and bad.
Both good and bad. Them. So, Bloom put out the alert, and some of our commanders started responding to it. But before we knew it, we were down 2-0. I hadn't put up any CZ wins. So, like I said, I said, okay, I'm getting BGS FOMO, and I jumped back from Colonial. I finished up what I was doing there anyway, and a lot of other folks in the squad started turning up. We started seeing more carriers coming into the system, and we even had some help from some unexpected. I'll call them acquaintances that we've dealt with before, and
acquaintances is the right word.
The help was unexpected, but it did help, and we appreciate it.
You're absolutely welcome. Yeah,
they know who they are, and I doubt they listen to the podcast, but I'm giving them a shout out anyway for thanks for their contribution on that.
Yeah, and if they are listening, I'm simultaneously saying thank you, buddy, while giving you a middle finger, because
Oh my.
And there went all the diplomacy that I had just never. Anyway,
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, it was very effective because once we got serious, we managed to win that war 4 straight, and now we are getting some separation between the first and the second place as far as influence is concerned. Starting to see some separation there. And we're noticing it, we know it's an archer, and we may be paying some special attention to it from a power play standpoint.
It shouldn't be an archer.
And I think that's a good lead in to the power play stuff.
The short PP?
This is the short PP report.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
It's average, so get your facts straight.
Okay, who's doing this?
I'll do this one. We have another fantastic update from Kruger 5 in the Loose Screws Discord for Power Play Cycle 65. Relics are back.
They're back,
Powers
baby.
are taking advantage.
Get them while they're hot.
It's back on the menu.
Frick, I need
Currently
to
at
finish up mine and
400
go grab
tons. Currently at 400, but expected to hit 600. I wonder if that's happened since
they've
we've,
already,
since that was written. It's
600
already
yesterday.
Yeah. So it's at 600. It's been 14 weeks since the last Relics boom and 12 weeks to the one before that. Yong-Rui has had the best week. Not as many systems as Ashling, plus 33 versus plus 38, but he picked up an additional stronghold for the edge. Ashling picked up the most systems this week, but suffered a stronghold loss. In fact, 2 strongholds were undermined, but Ashling added another elsewhere to make up for 1. Kaine continues to pull away and hold the FDev ranking 6th place from Archer.
Thank you, Kruger.
The PP
Thanks,
report.
Kruger. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and moving right into dev news, there actually is some, if you can call it that. There's new paints, and I've actually seen them, and I think they look really rad. I might actually get them because there are a bunch of those old chips that I do still fly regularly, and I think they'd look awesome with that paint job. So I'm probably gonna get it eventually. How about you guys?
I haven't looked at them
maybe.
yet.
I mean, I'm still. I'm still
Kind of looks like
enjoying the new
a
ships.
knightly
So
jousting banner.
yeah,
kind of
like
vibe.
medieval fair kind of paint.
Yeah, like Ren Fair, but in space.
So
Nah, they don't do anything for me. But I like
I
shinies.
think they could be fun for like doing some kind of event, racing maybe, or other shenanigans. Like I don't know how to put that paint job on just for
what do
bopping
we
around.
do?
But
Literal jousts.
well, there you go.
Now, if you got your Panther clipper, if you bought the one that had the little pointy thing on the end, you could do the Panther clipper jousting. Yeah. But they don't have one for the Panther clipper, do they? They don't have that.
No, it's all the old ships.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Which, and the fact that it came out for all of the old chips kind of reaffirms my theory that eventually we are going to get a module that you can buy and put in an old chip that will stabilize the SCO drive.
Or it could be they just have a shitload of old ship paint jobs hanging around.
That also could be, it can be both.
All right.
I choose to believe my theory, though.
I don't think they would do that until they had exhausted making new ships.
I just thought of something controversial. How about an SCO stabilizer for an old chip, but it costs money, aka ARCs?
That's actually, I think that's a good idea. I mean, I think they would think that's a good idea. Let me say it that way.
I mean, I think that's a good idea because I totally get it. So I'm just saying. Free ideas, FDev. There you go.
Well, we'll know who to blame.
You're welcome. Oh, excuse me. So let's go into the Galnet news. So we had 2 Galnet news articles update this week. The first one was the Ventura transformation, where some rich snob was talking about how he has this new thing and he just feels younger and energy levels through the roof after putting so much effort, feels like he can achieve anything. He wants to hike across the rainforest planet of Lave, which is an interesting shout out in support of ongoing conservation efforts there. And what do you guys think of Captain Plastic Surgery, or should I just go into the next article because it
I would do them both together. They're kind of
okay.
A combo.
Yeah, the next one 2 days later, which tied right in, was that the genetic study of the Radicoidea unica, aka the mushroom trees, was released. And the October consortium researchers highlighted observations that the plant may form a symbiotic relationship with biological creatures with prolonged exposure and seems aware of activity around it. Anyways, it also
that sounds pretty safe. It's probably safe.
That's probably safe. It's as safe as the Thargoid people. I mean, they're fine. I'm just saying. It also contains a compound which improves the physical performance and reduces thinking time in laboratory mice, which is also interesting wording. So what you guys got on this? Because I've got thoughts, but I'll save mine for a minute.
Well, maybe we do this kind of round robin, and as opposed to each of us doing a TED talk, we could just toss a few points in and kind of go around and around. One thing I would maybe say first, and I guess it's been mentioned, I think Lave might have mentioned this as well, is it was back in 2019 when Galnet stopped doing fluff pieces and made some kind of a statement that from now on they'd all have something to do with something in game. So the fact that this is a fluff piece should be seen through that lens.
Yeah, I don't think this is a fluff piece. It's absolutely not.
Yeah. I would say this should be looked at more like looking for patterns in audio spectrograms kind of analysis. So over to you, whoever wants to jump in next on that.
I'll go next because for those that don't know, because I've never really published anything for the Screws to Read, I've been a hobby writer since I was like 13 years old. It's just one of those hobbies that I've always done and really never not done it since I picked it up. And with that, you get a certain gut feeling regarding like plots and things like that. It's actually ruined a lot of movies for me, I'm not going to lie. But the first place my gut goes with this is, super soldiers. Because what the frick else do you think a government's going to do with that kind of a thing? I'm just saying.
Well, and why would they be, why else would they be fighting so hard over something?
Exactly. Because they want to have an edge against the other powers. Straight up.
All right. So let's bring operations into this too.
Ooh.
And we think about what we've been talking about operations, and we've heard like 30-minute skirmishes where you go in, kind of like a dungeon type situation potentially, because they have talked about on ships or what have you, but stated, you get killed. Like if you get killed right at the beginning of that, you're going to be sitting out until that particular, what are we going to call it, instant completes, and you're not able to rejoin.
Well, they're going to be sitting out. I'm going to be leaving and joining a new match,
or maybe a new match. Well, but if you're trying to do it on a team basis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what could help with that? Well, does these new biologicals result in a new ship form that now you've got somebody who's got the ability to rebuild or regen your health? Like the regen lasers will rebuild. your
you mean
shields.
in the ship? You mean when you're in the ship?
When you're not in the ship. I'm talking about this is going like the Healy lasers on the ship. Now you've got a suit or a suit component. You're now a medic, or you've got medical capabilities, and one of your teammates, he's his health is low, you're able to either inject or shoot something at them or whatever to increase their health.
So
they don't
question.
get. Yeah.
Question for you on that. How is that different from the health, like the med packs we already have?
Someone else can do it.
Someone else can do it for you.
Okay.
Med packs are stealth use only.
I'm out of med packs. I can't share a med pack right now with anybody.
You can't shoot a med pack, huh?
I can't shoot a med pack. No, I can't.
Is that? I get what you're saying. That's a very useful mechanic and creates a healer role, even if everybody could do it, I guess. But is that enough? Is that interesting enough to be like?
That's just one aspect. Then we get into reduced thinking time. What are they going to do? Bullet time in these instances?
Yeah, that's the one
like
I think is the really interesting one.
I don't think
thinking
bullet time, but if you're letting people heal all of a sudden, it makes sense that you'd also be letting them buff temporarily too.
Yeah, but what is the reduced thinking?
Shaman from World of Warcraft talking in me, because I love playing support characters in those kind of games.
I mean, I was. Go ahead.
Well, what I would think is you would maybe like move a little faster. Just every action would be like maybe third of a second faster or something like that. Like just.
But
enough
I wouldn't
to matter,
call
you know
that
what I mean?
thinking. You become you become faster.
Well, physical. They say improves physical performance. That physical performance could.
That's in there
That
too.
could be faster, but what's the thinking? What's the deal there?
Now, I thought of a few, but they don't seem very glamorous. Things like weapon swap time or aim down sights time.
That's all dexterity.
Aiming
I'm still
something.
okay with that.
Maybe okay. How about this? What if this doesn't exist in the game, but thinking, and this is way down a rabbit hole, but if they're trying to specialize classes like you have in an MMO, where there's say a tank, a healer, and a rogue. I wonder if they might put in a mini game for lockpick, the equivalent of lock picking, some kind of hacking thing, right? And that could be a thing that reduces thinking time, makes you faster at.
Yeah.
Like, these terminals are actually hardened against the one USB stick that everyone uses to hack stuff.
I don't know. I mean,
you need to do it manually type thing.
I don't love that idea because it's not reusing the same Lego blocks that already exist per se, because you can get a e-breach, right? Why?
Right.
Again, what's the point of, like, how would that be different? I don't know. I was really struggling
like
with
I
what
said,
does
you can
reduced
make
thinking time mean.
the excuse of this is on a starship, a big one, a capital ship. So those are actually hardened against attacks like that because it's designed to keep everyone safe no matter what. And so it would be hardened against something like that. Whereas your little display down on the ground, who cares? Use the cheap one that can be hacked. No one's going to come to this place and kill everyone for some super glue anyways. That never happens.
So some new mechanics got to be introduced to really take advantage of that.
Well, remember the old school, what's it called? The mini game where I can't words.
Your thinking has been reduced.
You mean within Elite Dangerous, a mini game? You're talking about the plant
give me
scanning?
another hit.
Are you talking about the plant scanning or a different game?
The plant scanner, the mini game around the plant scanner that everyone was like, it's tied to FPS and I have a 6060 Ti from whenever. You need to cower to me. And who cares? Point is, what if they recycle that into something that involves actually hacking terminals in a capital
That's a great point. That actually feels like a better use of that mini game.
Because that still exists, and that'd be a way more high stakes way of doing it.
All right.
I'd like to pivot back to something from the Ventura transformation, the first article. I don't think the phrase hiking across the rainforests of planet Lave is random.
I don't either. I'm just saying.
I think it absolutely is hinting at something. And the thing I was wondering is, in the same way that operations is in effect giving us more interiors, in this case, it's the one we've seen is for a megaship, but there's nothing stopping them from making an interior of an Anaconda if they want to, and they could do it in a way that doesn't have to mean that everybody's Anaconda now has an interior. It could just be this instance of this dungeon they've designed has an interior of an Anaconda.
I would love that.
It allows them to make much more resource light from a development perspective forays into something that we've been asking for a long time. So what's Rainforest? Rainforest is an Earth-like feature. And rather than having to unlock every Earth-like in the galaxy, what if they made a scenario in operations that actually, maybe you're walking through one of those biodomes on a generation ship. There's different artwork like that around stations too. That tube thing that goes around one of the station designs that has trees and stuff in it. Or it could literally be
one of those superstructure mega ships where it's just like a giant farming complex out in the system,
Or it could be like you remember in Wrath of Khan when they were inside the moon that the Genesis probe had transformed.
Yeah.
Like a rainforest inside a cave, something like that. Like little pocket instances of Earth-like features. That's where my mind went with that.
That's actually a really good point. The first place my mind went with that specific update and the verbiage in it and everything else was, on the rainforest. That's weird that was mentioned. They also mentioned when those mushroom trees first came out that those pods can launch all the way off planet if the plant has enough oomph in it. And it can fall wherever else in the system and start transforming that planet too. And I believe they did use the word transform somewhere in there, which makes me wonder, would we be able to take a lifeless rock or icy rock world and slowly begin terraforming it?
Oh, like literally the Genesis probe.
Exactly.
But biological.
Exactly. Like turn it into a thin atmosphere, lots of life, whatever kind of world. You see what I'm saying? One we can still land on, but that has been changed.
Okay. So I'm of the category of saying I sit it here and say it's very unlikely.
But
I can break it down. Now,
is there a simpler instance, a simpler embodiment of this?
Well, that's where I was going. I was looking for that. Now, from an operations standpoint, where we're talking about, they've talked about fighting in megaships and what have you. The building assets, I think all of those exist, and in all of the planetary bases, Odyssey planetary bases, they're out there. There's plenty of building assets that they can reutilize fairly
even like
easily.
Horizon point of interest they could reuse that almost no one visited. Yeah.
But when I shift to rainforest, like even when you talked about, that was a good point, the agricultural domes that they've got, but there's not a lot of variety. That's the first piece, and not a lot of scale. Not standing next to it, you're pretty far
They're not
from
rendered with a lot of granularity.
Right.
Yeah.
So I couple that with looking at the last financials that came out, and it was pretty clear to me that, at least from a developer standpoint, they've been pretty darn flat. They haven't spent that much more money on the development side over the last year. And if they were going to develop something like a rainforest, like we're talking about here, to the scale that I'm thinking, I think you would see a lot more investment dollars going into that would show up on those financials, unless they've had some type of AI epiphany.
Well, I was going to say, if only there was a technology that could make you more productive as a programmer without spending money.
Right.
What could that possibly be?
Oh my gosh. If they did, I'm not saying they have or haven't, but if they have used AI as a tool to help make the game better, oh my gosh, the forum posts on Reddit are going to be so spicy. Because they hate AI over there. It's going to be hilarious.
Well, look, if Exegius left the game because he was worried there was going to be an in-game market on fleet carriers, Imagine what happens if AI starts getting used. Holy crap.
Which,
no, but this is
it's
FDev we're
inevitable.
talking about.
It's going to happen, but yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
If they did use AI, it'd probably be like Copilot and not one of the big name ones.
Okay, pretty cool.
All right, here's another nugget from this thing that I thought might be interesting, because it kind of gets glossed over because the sentence about the physical performance and the mice and everything seems so much more juicy. But right before that, it says the plant may form symbiotic relationships with biological creatures with prolonged exposure. Like there's a few things going on there. That's kind of an over-explanation of something that they could have just said, it creates a reaction. They didn't have to say symbiotic, and they didn't have to say prolonged exposure either. What do you think that might mean?
Oh gosh, we're getting Space Spider-Man and Venom, aren't we?
Well, really, what does the symbiotic relationship mean? Is it like now, because it says it seems aware of activity.
Okay.
So is it sentient?
It allows us to talk to Thargoids.
You're going to hate this, but effing salvation. That thread is just out there dangling. Well, this is a consciousness in a thing.
Connect those for me. How does that play out?
How did he get into the plant?
Because there are Guardian worlds that have, I believe, that
biologicals?
Have biologicals on them too.
No, who? Where?
Aren't there?
I don't
brain
recall
trees. Doesn't that have to do with it?
Well, there's a relationship between brain trees and guardian ruins and nebula, and most nebula have a much higher instance of, and this was true even before Odyssey, a much higher instance of biosites.
All I'm saying is it's a leap, sure, but it's really not that far of a leap story-wise.
Well, I like your Venom idea. Maybe it means we get a voice in our head.
Right. That's a nice asteroid. Eat it. but it's rock. I'm hungry. Frick.
It's such an odd phrase. Symbiotic relationship with biological creatures. Like it's something you connect. I'm trying to find a non-icky biological term. You connect with it, and then while you have it on, you have an effect, and then you can disconnect from it or something, as opposed to, the easy button is like, it's like a health potion, or it's like a needle or something. But this feels more like it's a blob that sits on your back or something, and I don't know. It's a bit different.
I was going to say, I will use a gross biological term. There's a lot of mucus and moistness involved, and you hear it in your head.
It's a face hugger.
I have a symbiotic relationship with my toe fungus. That's great.
Well, but symbiotic literally means like it's alive and it's getting something out of the deal too. Like you're keeping it alive, it's giving you something in return. Right?
You saying toe fungus doesn't get anything from you?
I'm just saying this is a weird framing of this. It's not a health potion, right? It's not just a buff. There's something they're going for something else here. They didn't have to say it seems aware of activity around it.
No, they didn't. That's a very specific call out, and being aware of activity is what made my mind go straight to salvation, or maybe some piece of him or something. You know what I mean? Like, because let's face it, when you shatter your consciousness and put it in a million-year-old freaking casket on a planet while everything around you explodes, there's probably going to be complications. I'm just saying.
If we didn't already have the story thread of the Thargoid people, if that had never happened, my mind would be saying, "Oh, this is the zombie mechanic."
And this symbiotic thing out there too.
This symbiotic thing, you use it for a while, it gives you a buff, and then it goes horribly wrong, right? With prolonged exposure or something. Yeah. That feels like duplicative with. Well, I guess it maybe isn't duplicative because they haven't done anything with the Thargoid people story. So there's that.
Yet. They are still out there.
There's a CG coming out of this.
There is, and it's going to be gross and
we're going to be collecting seed pods.
Yeah.
That's what it's the flowering season where the seed pods are produced. The flesh of these pods truly excites me. Boy, I worry about this guy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
like
excited.
I said, it's gonna be gross.
He's been sniffing the pod too much.
I'm gonna be excited if those seed pods look like carrots. That'll be great.
They've kind of walked away from the story thread about there being underground stuff with these plants.
Yeah, I know that they were kind of making it sound like fungus, right? A network of mushrooms, what have you. But yeah, they haven't done anything with that, have they?
No, well, not yet. And to be fair, that happened, and then it was the holiday season, and it's basically a bank holiday for like 30 days in the UK, I think. So.
Wouldn't it be cool if like you interact with the stuff and then you get like little art of like mushrooms growing out of your shoulder or something? You start to look like Groot.
I was going to say, if you want to see things growing out of people, I have a game called Warframe to show you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Huh.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the underground thing will come back around eventually. I don't think it's one of those things that's ready now. They just want the thread out there. You know?
How long do you think they're going to take to play? How long do you think they're going to play this out? How long this is going to take?
I'm going to say summer.
Okay.
Like it'll really start coming to head around the summer. That's my prediction.
So do we know when Operations is coming?
I thought it was into February. Remembering that correct? I think it is.
Are we suggesting then that this isn't related to Operations, or it's just an enhancement later to it?
I think it's tied in. I think
you think it would launch with it, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, maybe
if it's making super soldiers, or it's part of the game loop that gives you more of a class focus, or you can, in effect, resurrect your fallen comrade.
Maybe. On a quick search, I'm not seeing anything official about when the Operations thing's coming out, just that it's coming.
I mean, it was supposed to be last year.
Right. It got delayed. I don't know why. I've got into February stuck in my head for some reason on that.
Because of consoles. That's why.
Because of what?
Consoles.
Consoles.
It's all their fault.
Because they're going to release consoles again at the end of February? Is that what you said?
No, just because
you heard it here first, folks.
No, it was delayed because consoles exist.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
Wait, what else we got?
I had one thing. It's a completely different topic if you want to come up with another thing to talk about. But I was listening to Lave and hearing the really good discussion with the crew, and then also the listener and viewer comments on PvP, and a lot of discussion around what is the definition of PvP, of ganking, of griefing, and people were coming up with all kinds of different framings for the boundaries between those three things. And
come on, we all know that ganking is when you do something I don't like.
Yeah. Okay, Adaxius. And it was. I think it's a really interesting conversation. The one, and there was also layered into that a juxtaposition of is this to be talked about strictly in the framework of open, PG, and solo? And it pivoted, which I thought was great, into well, maybe this should be more about safe and dangerous areas of
I like
systems and galaxies.
Kind of like how EVE Online does it.
Well, you could, and they touched on this too, or some of the viewers did, that if NPCs, I thought that was really tantalizing, that part of the reason why PvP, I'm paraphrasing here, but part of the reason why it stands out as such a big deal is the NPCs are so weak. If NPCs were super powered and they were almost as dangerous as real players, then maybe this wouldn't be such an issue, because you'd be having to fight off things like that all the time anyway.
So I think we've seen both aspects of that in the game. Thargoids.
Mm-hmm.
Regional areas of danger.
That's true.
Scouts, maybe
and you want to talk about aggressive. Imagine how remember when everybody lost their minds getting pulled all the time by glaives and scythes?
That's true. That's true.
So go bring some glaives and scythe level combat capability into the NPCs, and we
so
saw how much we enjoyed that. I would love to see it elsewhere.
Something I remember hearing years ago, and I don't know if either of you can confirm if this is true or not, or if it's just apocryphal, but I remember a story something along the lines of early in the game's design or launch, or I don't know, in the early years of the game, whoever on the dev team was programming the NPC AI had to turn it down because it was just too hard. Is that true?
I do remember something like that, yeah. And honestly, what I'd like to see is like maybe around some of the more high-traveled areas of the bubble, maybe that could be considered like the easier zone for NPCs. And the farther out you get, the NPCs get harder and harder until basically every NPC is a high-power CZ level.
Well, they brought up, and I remember this from playing the original Elite, that anarchy systems would kick your ass. Yeah. And so, and now hearing all of that,
they should. Seriously.
Until you mentioned the Thargoids, that's brilliant. I had, in my head, I was like, but can we actually do that? Well, duh. There's no reason they couldn't take the AI. I mean, it's not AI. It's just programming for the way they fly. It's not really AI, but
the NPCs.
The NPC logic. Let's call it the NPC flight logic. They could take the NPC flight logic from Thargoids and they could put it on any ship. It doesn't matter if it's Thargoid. Yeah. They could make system security way better. Mm-hmm. They could choose how powerful to make NPCs in general in various systems.
In my opinion, the system and police should literally like be flying station guns. Like if they get on you, you're done. That's it.
In the game, in the original game, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, there's your crime and punishment buff right there. All of the space police are now flying nukes, and as long as they get you, they got you. The end.
I had two other thoughts on this. One was, they mentioned it on the show, and I was thinking about it as well. This idea, because I've used it in my own writing, is this idea that Elite Dangerous is a uncaring and dangerous, lethal place. Yeah. And you're an everyman or an every woman, every person. You're not a superhero. You're just trying to make your way in the galaxy, and people are getting killed all the time. I mean, really,
like Warhammer 40K without the demons.
If you think about the actual punishment for murdering people, it's pretty light. There's nothing you can do in this game that you can't burn off in 8 hours or 10 hours of
8 or 10 hours,
right? For notoriety. So if Elite's original thesis was it's an uncaring galaxy and people are dying all the time and it's just the value of life is low. What's happened is the gaming community, the community around Elite has come up with their own headcanon. They have their own events. There's expeditions, there's squadrons, there's BGS, there's all this stuff that's actually the lived experience of the game. And where FDev has kind of let it go is they have not really continued leaning into this idea that it's an uncaring galaxy and it's very dangerous. And
you can bring new people into the game and have it be wholly uncaring at the same time. If you couldn't, then the Souls-like games would not be as popular as they are.
What do you mean?
Like the game can be super, super hard and I need to kill this guy, but F you, you're dead again. And you could absolutely have that in Elite, but still have like an onboarding experience, or at least a more friendly area that kind of builds you up to that, so you at least know to expect it.
Well, I guess my point is FDev's lost the narrative, right? Like,
exactly.
If people bring up the fact that, a justification for ganking is because I'm playing a murder hobo because that's what FDev said the universe was like. Well, not really. They haven't kept that up. They haven't invested in continuing lore and game mechanics that promote that. Now, if they went and turned all the knobs up to 11 on NPC pilot logic in high security areas, and
that'd be hilarious if they just snuck that
then
in.
That would be a way to say, actually, it is this way. Here we go. I don't think they can do that now necessarily in a drastic way, but it is a lever they could use that obviously with Thargoids existing, that logic is in the game.
Oh yeah.
They could use it. The other thing I was thinking of is, what's the alternative? If you think about other games and how other games have handled PvE versus PvP, there's other models, and do we like any of those other models better? For example, going all the way back to EverQuest, the original EverQuest, you could choose to be on a server that was PvE or a server that was PvP, and those were separate universes, whole separate instances forever. Like you
couldn't, because I was always on a PvP server.
Right. So the point is, that's one mode. You could have imagined if at the beginning of character creation in Elite Dangerous, you had to choose PvE or PvP, and you were locked in. They could have done that.
In that situation, did you have, if you chose the PvE server, did you have interactions with human players?
Yes, absolutely. And they also found ways to grief, like camping on spawns and other sort of non-lethal ways to cause mayhem existed. And that was, I think, some of the first, I guess you could argue, Ultima Online, because it came before, but it was isometric, and EverQuest was the first person one. It had more sort of spatial things going on in terms of 3D geometry and ways to mess with people. And some of the original, I think, countermeasures to all of that probably came from the shenanigans that people invented in that game. And so that's one way to do it. If you think about Warframe, how does it work in Warframe, Lark?
Warframe is basically PvE only, unless you go in a specific, it's kind of an arena-like thing, kind of like how Elite Dangerous does it, where there you can do PvP against other players. Otherwise, it is completely
CQC.
PvP.
It's like isn't it like a space in your dojo or something you can go to and challenge someone to a duel, basically?
There's a space in the dojo where you can do it, but there's also the conclave where you can get like rewards from some of the NPCs and stuff for fighting other players. And I've done it a few times, and it is a lot of fun.
The conclave, though, in the same
in the main game, because
it's like
broken.
it's like CQC in the sense that it's its own pocket universe.
Exactly.
You don't earn things that you can take back to the main game.
Exactly.
So it's walled off. What else? Destiny? Destiny is PvE.
Destiny had it the same way. They had an arena
unless you go
mode.
to the Crucible, unless you intentionally fight other people.
In Warframe, it was called what was it? The Conclave.
Yeah, the Conclave. Anybody? I never played World of Warcraft. Did either of you guys play that?
I did, and I did it on a PvP server. And
so
I had
did it segregate the servers like EverQuest did?
Yes. And I had a similar experience there as I did in Elite when we were fighting Aisling that one time, where we were basically camping and destroying a much larger than us group of low levels, though, and just getting them over and over because we're Horde and that's what we do. And then they were gone for a minute, and suddenly here come their higher level guys, and they destroyed us. It's kind of the same thing with Aisling, where we were actually doing okay, and then their serious guys showed up, and wow, the tables turned fast, didn't they?
So here's the question. All those other games either lock you in at character generation or they have a prescribed zone or pocket universe where you can do PvP. Elite is the only one that actually lets you change this in real time, regardless of where you are in the galaxy or what you're doing. So, which I think is a pretty innovative and interesting choice. So do we feel like the issues that brings are worth that flexibility? That's because that's the trade-off. We could be locked into one of these other systems, and they chose not to do that.
I think it is worth it because I think whatever problems exist in it. Oh, there wasn't a core in that asteroid. Darn it. I found like 3 more. I think whatever problems exist in Elite's PvP right now are usually just knowledge issues more than anything else. And like maybe they need some more unlocks and engineering, things like that.
I disagree.
It is all issues that can be fixed.
I disagree.
Where I come down on it is the police, aka like the system police. If a law is broken, like a player attacks another player, the police need to be able to show up instantly. Like they're just spawned in that instance on the tail of the perpetrator. And B should be way more powerful.
I'm going to go back to your first point and say, and I don't think you meant it this way, so I'm not trying to
I
label you or something. I do think it's a bit ableist, if that's the word, to say that
enabling.
Yeah, like ability, like it's ability based, meaning, well, your fault for not liking PvP is you need just to get better, and.
So I'm not saying it's not the ganker's fault for attacking someone and destroying them in 3 volleys. It is absolutely their fault.
What I'm saying
is it can be prevented if the other commander has more knowledge. That's where I come down on it.
Okay, let me give you a personal example from a different game. Okay. I've played games with my sons the whole, for 2 decades.
Oh gosh, you're going to mention Fortnite, aren't you?
No. I'm going to mention Warframe. I'm going to mention Destiny, Crucible. I'm going to mention Helldivers. I'm going to mention Arc Raiders.
Okay.
I will never be as good as they are in those games. And it's not just about playtime. It's not just about playtime. I am, 30 years older than my oldest son.
You do not have the Twitch response.
I don't have the Twitch response. I'm never going to match them. I will find other ways to have fun and use guile and strategy and bitterness and old man strength and whatever. I'll find other ways to play and have fun, but it's not this linear thing where, everybody who's crying about PvP just needs to go spend a few hours, on an aimbot tester or something. Like it's not that simple. It's not that simple. And some people aren't into that. Some people never want to be that good at combat. So
that's true. But escape, that's what I'm trying to get at. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at vocalizing this. But that's what I'm trying to get at though, is that avoiding the PvP, even if you've been interdicted, can be done. Like as soon as I learned point defenses were a thing, guess what? None of the gankers with torpedoes pulled me anymore. Because they would see I had point defense, and even if they did pull me, they would fire all those torpedoes that would normally destroy you in that one volley.
Yeah,
they would all just blow up harmless somewhere behind me.
Yeah. In the same way,
they can be escaped with speed. Just
in the same way
boost.
that anybody who's eating in a restaurant should recognize the signs of choking and have been shown a video of the Heimlich maneuver as a public service.
You know how to do it.
You know how to do it. Like there's and they mentioned this briefly in Lave as well, and it's worth re-mentioning is FA off, flip around, boost, target a system, high wake. Like that solves 95% of interdictions, right?
And the other 4%
you can't be flying
is point defense or speed, and the other 1% is they got lucky.
There's other ways. Actually, I don't even FA off and boost. Often I can just boost and go to high wake because my ship is engineered and I fly with a shield if I'm in open and all that. But there's some basic knowledge about a technique that's fairly repeatable that solves for 80% of it. But honestly, again, and they mentioned this too. I think a lot of this is coming from thinking from 5 years ago as well. We were talking about this. Was it 2 weeks ago, or I forget, about how like where have all the gankers gone? It's unless you're going to Shindes or Desiat, sometimes it's actually hard to find someone to gank you. Like especially if you're trying to go anti-ganking, like where are they? They're nowhere near in the levels that they were 3 years ago.
I went to Desiat and Open just a couple weeks ago.
And you attribute that to what?
I don't know. People moving on to other games.
I attribute it to two
better
things.
ships.
Better ships, that came up too. But that doesn't solve for where are they? That just solves for I can survive, right?
I attribute it to three things. The where are they is some of them have probably moved on to other games. It is also the new ships are really just that good, like straight up. And the third thing that I don't think is mentioned enough is I think the average commander is a lot better of a pilot than they were 5 years ago too. So it's just harder for them, and they just want to club seals, and the seals all have teeth now.
So let me poke. I want to poke at some of that. First,
Sure.
The first one, they've moved on. Ganking's been going on for years and years and years. So why now did they just suddenly decide to move on?
There was a World of Warcraft pretty big update recently. So
Arc Raiders,
okay,
I don't know,
right.
Helldivers. Maybe they've gone down to the other whole genres. Who knows?
Helldivers has been. I mean, when did you notice the fall?
I need to reinstall Helldivers.
In the last
what was that,
year, 18 months, I'd say.
Okay, and a lot of those new games that we were talking about have been out longer than that. So, and I don't know, that one falls apart for me. What was the other one? You said folks have gotten better, but we've also been seeing the subscription rate go up and up and up.
And a lot of those people, you guys probably don't see this because a lot of people aren't on like Facebook, Reddit, whatever else, where all of those public-facing elite forums are that aren't the official ones, right?
Right.
I constantly see new people asking for help there. And like even I think Blooming Winds told a couple of them about the loose screws and they ended up showing up where they are immediately getting pointed at other player groups all across the bubble who are helping them get their space feet under them, helping them avoid getting ganked in the first place so it's never even an issue, and helping them really understand the game and what they need to do. So on average, they're just better than, say, a new commander was 5 years ago or when Odyssey was just released. You know what I mean?
So what you were saying is the new players have gotten better of finding and joining up with other more experienced members than what we've seen in the past for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not, but
plus the combination, or they can also go buy a better ship.
Yeah, that too.
Early in the game.
I think we're conflating two things. One is are encounters more survivable? That is separate from, on average, how many gankers do you see in a certain amount of playtime in certain systems? Those are two separate things.
Because I think it's both. I think there are less gankers, and the ones that are around are
I'm not saying there's not both. I'm saying they're
ones.
Different issues. I'm saying this is what I'm trying to get to is there is a way to connect those, which is if all the ways that make things more survivable mean like there's less fish for them to fish, then they're going to do it less.
Yeah.
It's not as fun. Like it's less of a target-rich environment.
Right. Yes. Target. So yeah, if the targets have reduced, then they're.
It could also be that more people are playing in PG and solo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the sad part.
You
know, because you're not gonna have those interactions in solo. You will in PG. If you get into a big player group. If you just create your own player group, then you're not. But yeah.
Well, this is maybe where we give the the standard loose screws appeal for people to come play in open because it's not as dangerous as you think, and there's techniques to mitigate 90% plus of instances where you'd like to just get away.
absolutely teach you the hazards of flying with a docking computer. Yes.
Out for crying out loud.
And there are more often than not, especially around CGs, there's groups of people that have a lot of fun doing anti-ganking, and that could be a lot of fun to tag along on. I mean, if you can wing up with a few people and be part of that crew, that's first of all, it's a heck of a lot safer to do it that way, and
it's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and it has some purpose.
I've done anti-ganking before, and it was when gankers were way more common, and it was a blast.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember
it's a fantastic way to learn, because it's like you just mentioned. Okay, yeah, you can escape a gank, right? You FA off and flip and select a star system and boost it. Well, yeah, and you can run that through your head 100 times, but until you get pulled that first time and the adrenaline kicks in, you go, how the hell do I get to the nav panel?
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't. My stars filter.
Everyone has a plan until their shield gets blown off.
Yeah, that's right. So go figure out how to do it with a friend. Let them pull you and take you through.
Everyone has a plan until they take a plasma to the face.
You can absolutely learn how to do this, but not without a few rebuys first, unless you're having somebody.
Well, I mean, here's something that's been mentioned, I know in our Discord on numerous occasions. Maybe it came up, I think Audaxius might have mentioned this on air before, but when you get high enough up in power play ranking, there's no penalty for rebuy.
True.
If you're doing power play PvP, basically.
If you get killed in one of your powers systems, there's no rebuy.
Yeah. Just a personal example from the anti-ganking. This is going back maybe 3 or 4 years now, but I had quite a bit of fun one evening where I was sort of, I'll call it the junior member of the squad, having quite feeble combat skills. Somebody else had, I think it was probably a Corvette and maybe a Crate Mark II, and they were like doing the main damage and tanking, and I was flying basically a stealthed DBS,
nice.
Ice cold DBS, no shield. I think I had a railgun on it, so I could basically stand back, snipe, and I was literally the sniper because I was invisible. They were focused on the other players, and yes, if they were using night vision, eventually, if I was the only one in the instance, they would find me. But since there was the mayhem of 2 other ships attacking them, I could be invisible, and that was just so much fun.
Diamondback Scout is such an underrated ship. If anyone out there is listening that hasn't flown that, fly it. You're doing yourself a favor. Trust me.
You need to go back and find that build that Data put together. He put a Data build together that ran ice cold.
Hey Data, if you're out there listening, find that build.
All right, cool.
Oh goodness. I am also at the end of this gonna plug or at the end of this discussion, I should say, I'm also going to plug the Sidewinder with fully engineered enhanced performance thrusters and dropping bio waste as you boost away at 730 meters a second. That never gets old, man.
Yeah, once you get comfortable with the technique, you can start to do it with some panache.
Yep. Oh boy, that makes them so mad. Shoot. Excuse me. My cold is trying to come back, so we might think about wrapping this up.
That was the end of my thoughts on PvP for now.
That's a good discussion.
It was good. I liked that. All right. Well, down then in the community corner, I have one thing I'd like to plug, because I would like any of your screwy people out there's ideas in Chig Chat about what would you like to see in a live SRV race for the loose screws. I'm not talking time trial or anything. I'm talking let's all get together and have some mayhem. I don't care if it's a hill climb again or like a live race around a outpost somewhere, just something. Because gosh dang it, that last hill climb we did for Distance Cruise 3 was really fun, and I want to do something like that again.
Yeah, as the undisputed holder of the most recent title of that hill climb, I can attest to the hilarity and fun, especially the explosions afterward.
Yeah, we absolutely didn't fall down cartwheeling end over end down an icy hill. I don't know what you're talking about.
Or drop through someone's ship geometry and rocket 6 SRVs
that only happened
outwards. Yeah.
Oh, shoot. That was so good, though. Yeah, I want to do something like that again because that was a lot of fun. And y'all are awesome and deserve another event like that. But I have no ideas right now because I've been so busy. So help me out. Get in Chig Chat. Post something there. And that is basically all I got. What about you guys?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I think I would like to wrap it up. One of the best things of our Discord is we've got folks in our Discord all over the world. Now, for the most part, time zones is the limiting factor. Mm-hmm. But we've got one particular member that is opposite time zone as you can get. Our favorite Kiwi, Grover, in New Zealand, who has been a member for a long time, a big contributor, and we love our Grover. And as some of you may have seen on the news, New Zealand has been getting some horrendous summer weather, terrible rains that have resulted in some rather catastrophic mudslides. And we learned that it took the life of one of Grover's extended family members. So we just wanted him to know that, hey, we mourn with you. We're thinking about you, and hope you can get through this quickly.
Absolutely. Amen. I saw the news today, and that sucks. My heart goes out to you, Grover. All of us screws do. I think I speak for all of us when I say that. And just, if you need anything and it's something we can do, buddy, just please let us know. We're here.
Yep. You're in our thoughts and prayers and well wishes and just thinking about you and your family.
Absolutely. And if you want to be part of a community that cares that much, visit loosescrewsed.com. There's a link to our Discord there. Join us in there. We're quite nice bunch of people. I haven't had friends on the internet this good ever, I should say. So if that sounds fun to you, come give us a try. We don't bite hard. So for myself, for Commander Roy Cookson, and for Commander Oblivious, this has been the Loose Screws Podcast. And say bye, everybody.
Bye,
everybody.